Hey, ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Connell Work.
And I'm Ringaroo, low, low, low.
And folks, we're continuing our Steel Division 44 retrospective over here in Colombales. We brought you one on Tuesday. We promised you another one on Thursday. That's today, folks. So, rank who is fighting between these two titans on this factory map?
On left-hand side in blue, we have Beowulf playing the 1st Polish Armor Division. Right-hand side in the red, we have Reike Omamori playing the 116th Rintown Division.
So it's kind of funny, I kept waiting for you. I kept almost begging for you to be like, with a Vanguard income, but of course that doesn't happen here.
I keep having to actually hold myself from saying the income. Now I realize, oh, there's no choices. It's just the income that you get. But in this case, I guess both of them would be kind of. That's not even really Vanguard because
It's more balanced.
everything's balanced on SD44 apart from some of the DLC divisions. It's just how balanced are you?
Indeed. Now, one thing that we haven't really talked about, of course, is we haven't seen these divisions in a really long time. Fintown, I mean, we kind of know how they play. Bring me your light vehicles, bring me your tires, your poor, your yearning to be killed kind of things. Now, the first Pacherna, though. We know the Poles on the Eastern Front. What do they look like on the Western Front?
Lots of light armor and using Cromwell to great effect. As we're seeing up north here, Beowulf is doing some fantastic jobs with his recon turret and the stat count actually rushing the Pack 38 and some light armor. Reike does have a auto cannon half track nearby, and I'm guessing he's waiting for the opportunity to get a flanking shot in the turret.
And he's doing it. Dude, that guy's making a bit of an end run.
Oh, he has to go around to train, so slow him down a bit.
But you know what? He'll pick out and he'll pick out the stroke you
no.
pretty easily.
Yeah, okay, is he moving? I know he's just gonna move deeper into enemy lines, he's not gonna do a flanking maneuver. I've seen a flamethrower hard track being brought up north. I feel like he's gonna try and do an ambush with it, but when there's a recon turret, you're not really gonna be able to hide.
Oh, jeez, he almost had got out of cover. Oh, that would have been choice. But we SDK have said 250-10 coming in. There's a pack track. And what, I think he's going at 36.
Yeah, I think it's
38. It's 38 coming in.
Yeah. He has a 36 on the pack track. So you get both.
The best of both worlds, except not quite. Meanwhile, these P3s trying desperately to engage these Cromwells, but this is the upgun Cromwell. This is that fearsome Cromwell. What's this? 75 mil? Yeah, it's 75 mil. So it's in a very plucky attempt. I don't think this is gonna work very well.
No. Yeah, Rintown has always been a very weird division. We've seen Gonzo play it phenomenally in the past in SD44, but A-Phase is, even though it's kind of meant to be like an A-Phase rush division, it is pretty difficult. You only have 4, Panzer Grenadier units in total, albeit they are 2 stars, so you can make them work. As we're seeing in the center position here. Close quarters are not great, but yeah, they're just not great against regular British troops. Really needs the extra fire support to really rin that yard out.
You certainly do. Sorry, I was watching as well. Probably gonna see the Swan Song. Oh no, that 250 Mark 9 is desperate to get out of there, but he's gonna be forced to fall back again. And yikes, this is gonna be the kill shot for him. No, jeez. I love being wrong. But that Piat though. What?
Well, there was a Piat to be fair, but he's falling back. But yeah, what the fuck?
And he's standing still, and he still gets missed.
Okay,
Recon Stewart. No, Recon Stewart though.
It's 259, 250 or 250/9 just does not want to die, Khan.
But at the same time, I completely get it. Except now, this half track I think is going to force him to surrender, which is going to be just Yeah.
The classic SD44 strat. Half tracks are only really to force surrenders and to get blown up by Panzerfaust.
Well, you got to find something to do some scouting.
Yeah.
I mean, spot troops only get you so far, and let's see, what do the Poles have again? Oh yeah, they have the Stewards, and then they have the Zwiadowski. I'm
just rifle troops. Oh, no. Oh, those are the recon dudes, my bad.
Yeah, no, the Strokies are on one side, and the Dragonis are the guys that we're going to see a ton of.
Yeah.
But one thing that is always true about this, I mean, even the Poles themselves, tons of lighter armor, but not really a ton of infantry. They have one card of Strokies over here in Phase B, with that's going to have 8. And then basically overall, we have what? Maybe 25 squads over the entire map?
Yeah, like both sides are pretty lacking in infantry. The Poles,
Hmm.
it's really more using a bit more in a spammy manner. They're not that great in terms of equipment, of course. The Panzer Grenadiers and I believe he has Pioneers as well. Work pretty well if you can get into those good engagements, of course. As this is SD44, Panzer Grenadiers at longer than 100 meters, will just kill
Own.
anything. Yeah, they're
Yes.
just, especially like British armed, like British equipment troops, right? Where you have goddamn Bren guns, you can't really do much against that. Beowulf is doing very good so far in his A phase. He's really taking the momentum up north through the canal area, and both sides is playing pretty passively down south. I do like how Raike has managed to sneak in a spar troop behind enemy lines.
Certainly true. Now, I'm not saying that I would beat down the doors for this, but it'd be kind of fun to see some of these maps represented over on the Eastern Front.
Yes, one thing that SD2 could really need is some new maps, because frankly, a lot of the maps in SD2 are very bad. And the SD44 maps were, I think, some of the pinnacle map design for Eugene systems.
Well,
Especially this map.
there was such a breadth of material to take a look at. I mean, this was fun just because instead of getting the stupid towns, you had these kind of close quarters fighting that would intersperse with some distance here and there. But then you had stuff like the Point to Hawk, which at the same time gave you like this lovely little kind of potential flanking run, which was nearly always deadly, but you had the chance to do something really interesting and different. So,
Yeah. A lot of the SD44 maps really had a lot of playstyles which they accommodated for. Like, for example, this
hmm
map, like, the northern side is a flanky choke point hell, but it got some longer range combat. The central position is just town fights, and down south is also, can spread your legs a bit for some tank warfare. And most of the maps in SD44 usually have, you can usually, like, approach them with different playstyles and it works. Albeit, the one problem with importing these maps, SD2 is of course, well, SD2
scale.
is, yeah, scale. It's like this map
Yeah.
is only 3 by 3 kilometers or something like that. 4 by 4.
Yeah.
It's very small in regards to SD2. Well, yeah, yeah, but
Yeah, but
yeah,
there's just that moment of fidelity though too. Like,
yeah.
see how would the Russians do fighting through hetero hell? How would the Germans do trying to attack a factory complex? Like, yeah, we've seen this over in the Western Front, but there's just the potential just to have so many more interesting scenarios kind of crop up because of it. You know?
Yeah. Oh, I do like South here. Raike is getting a pretty good maneuver warfare here on Beowulf's Dragoonies and forcing that half track fall back. And if he can, yeah, he's pretty much going to secure out like southern hedgerow position. That's a very strong position to hold. As you just slap some anti-tank guns into that forest where the spar troop is, and you're pretty good in holding that
Yeah,
position.
but good luck getting them there in the first place.
Yeah, it's kind of it takes a little bit long. I mean, usually we want to take the southern road, like not the road where the Panzer III is, but
No,
have
you
to
take the
like
road
go.
less traveled.
Yeah, you have to go across the field to really be safe because, as you see, Beowulf has a 6-pounder nearby, which will bring things to Pound Town.
SPW, dude, you're killing me, man. You're just wasting ammo belt after ammo belt. This is
Oh
sad at
yeah,
this point.
come on, get a penetration hit eventually, buddy. We believe in you. Oh, I think the stag hound's gonna come in and finish him off.
He
We'll
has
finish
quite
off the
literally
SPW.
fired, I think, 100 rounds of 20 mil ammo.
Finally,
God, that was painful.
yeah. Especially for the half track.
I was just saying, especially for the half track, you're absolutely right. But to the north, there is a P3 with short barrel, 75, I want to say. I don't know, 50 mil.
Yeah, it's just
75 is a
all
long
of them are
barrel.
the 50 mils. I don't believe they had the 75s in SD44.
No, it's a couple. I think they had a couple P3Js someplace. But all right.
No?
Point being, engaging the Cromwells, doing the Führer's work. Maybe not the Lord's work, but the Führer's work certainly. And right now we are seeing the major kind of downfall of so much of the Polish infantry is that outside of the Dragonis, they didn't have anti-tank.
Yeah, yeah. Like, Astrology keys are
Which,
your spammy troops that you have to
yeah.
use. They're pretty much like your rifle troops. And
Yes.
they just... They need fire support. The Panzer Grenadiers can work pretty well by themselves, but the Polish infantry, you need your Cromwells and artillery and fire support backing you up to actually get anything done.
Certainly was the case. But, actually, wait, so this is a 6-pounder right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was going to say, just want to make sure I had my metric system versus my imperial metric system kind of working out pretty well.
Oh.
Taking out a half-track to the north. And I know we joke about the fact that the half-tracks are there to be ablative armor and just to kind of be speedy little, scout cars. But that was a big advantage for a lot of the Allied divisions on the Western Front, as we constantly saw these just insane rushes with all the MGs and the 50 cals on top.
Yeah, it was... Like, you could get some pretty, like, nasty surrenders with a good half-track cross. Of course, you can do the same thing with the Germans, but usually the Allied half-tracks, I believe, are, like, a little bit cheaper. So, that's, like, 5 points, but it's a big difference when it's, like, 20 points versus 15 points or so. So, Dragoonie up north, firing the Piat, but completely riffing the shot here.
Well, they put it up against you see that burning kind of candle just next to them. That was what once remained of a German half-track, and I feel kind of bad seeing it, but not surprising all the same.
Oh.
Meanwhile, the Flampanzer, for some reason, feeling gutsy enough to go over open territory when he knows there's a 6-pounder in the area.
6-pounder's having a hard time hitting the broadside of a barn, and there we go, the Flampanzer gets to get its Flam off. I'm going to expose himself to the Panzer III, but...
Well, that might be part of the problem. It's not the broadside of a barn, it's the broadside of one of those little half-tracks, so... Target identification's got to be a different thing altogether, I suppose.
Oh, we got a recon plane being brought in. It's not going to get shot down immediately because they're anti-air, so it's going to be very beneficial. I mean, we've seen Gonzo use recon planes with Rintown very effectively, especially at the start of the match. So this should give Raike some pretty good... Oh, that's the anti-air, so...
Yeah.
But he did get some good coverage up here. Should have spotted a 6-pounder or two.
Trying to find some arty though at the same time. Not a lot to be seen. Panzerwerfer could have been a lot of fun to see here, but Vintown not looking to verf any Panzers anytime soon.
Yeah, our Panzerwerfer is definitely a very useful tool in that factory fight. Just because Rintown are not really wanting to fight close range most of the time. But he is really engaging more in the northern area where he can use his machine guns and fire support vehicles much more efficiently. I don't feel like he's really going to make any more progress up north here, as opposed to trying to get a pretty good defense with the 6-pounders and an Achilles. And that Achilles is going to be a huge pain in the ass to deal with unless he brings in Panthers, but... Right, I mean, he can kill it with Panzer Force as well, and Pack 40s, but... Not ideal.
I'm watching as this M8 Staghound runs afoul of a Peak-Run squad. And down to the south, there is another Greyhound. Oh, no, that's the M8 that... No. Carrier? Oh, geez, that was weird. So there were 2 Staghounds down to the south. One is now a flaming ruin, as you might expect. The second one's going to die rather shortly as his Pack 40 asserts his dominance in the typical way, taking out a Lloyd carrier at the same time, too. But there was this potential to have this really interesting kind of end run happen here. Unfortunately, for really Omamori, he was not able to turn in time. And Beowulf got a little bit of cold feet, which I'm not 100% sure why that was. But see a little more of a standard 53-47, just kind of chilling for a second. To the north, P3 takes out another Stuart. So I think that's pretty much makes them blind until he brings in the other scout troops.
Yeah, it doesn't have much recon there, yo. I mean, in the northern position, he definitely needs recon. In the factory fight, not so much. But yeah, getting a flank in, or not too much of a flank, but attacking the Crusader AA and should be knocking it out. He's going to run afoul of his Achilles. And that's not ideal.
Internal fragments. I remember that pain well.
Yeah. I have no ammunition, and I must scream.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? At least there's a nice cup of coffee. I mean, he got brewed up pretty darn quick if that
Oh,
happened.
yeah.
So.
Weapons jammed on the second Panzer III. I mean, I understand taking that engagement because at close at range you can kill them with the Panzer IIIs, but that just did not go well in Omamori's favor. And I feel like Beowulf is going to try and... It's been a bit more aggressive as Achilles now, knowing that he pretty much disabled both P3s and just try to finish the job.
Try to finish the job, yes, but he's got to be careful because there's still an Opal Blitz in the area, and that's just sprinting towards the front lines.
Yeah. Achilles takes forever to aim because it has a very slow turn-in turret.
Well, that was just a... Wasn't it just a variant of the M10?
Yeah, it's just an M10 tank destroyer, but with a 17-pounder, so it still had a slow... I believe it was a hand crank turret, it wasn't electrical. So it was like very slow to turn around.
Yeah, that sucks for a gunner. Wow.
Yeah, good arm rack out, yo.
Unlike the hero for which it was named, yes. Martyr being brought on in, also another Flampanzer because the first one got brewed up to the north. I think there was this attempt to get this peak run in and around to maybe get a Faust on, but that was a very wishful thinking.
Yeah, it just got spotted, yeah. Yeah, it could have been a very good kill knocking out Achilles, but yeah, will not happen. You're all seeing a push through the factory here with a Pioneer leading the charge.
Well, those Gebolterledungs, those were just so freaking good. And honestly, in here, the worst he's really got to worry about is... Well, just the numbers of the Strelky.
Yeah, the Strelkies aren't the best infantry.
Oh no, I actually forgot. The worst thing he's got to worry about is the freaking Crusader.
Still alive, and his tracks may be tracks may be damaged, but the gun still works just fine.
Well, now Opal Blitz has made it to the front lines as well, so setting up a small vehicle triage center, getting those weapons unjammed, getting some armor and arms back in there. And actually, I'm kind of fascinated to see what happens as this Martyr might be able to take some really interesting positions.
Oh yeah. I forgot he does have available access to Martyrs, which is actually a pretty good counter against Achilles.
Oh, definitely. And he's getting 4 of them, too. So he can trade out 1 for 1, and... we come out ahead? Yes, he comes out quite a bit ahead.
What the hell is he doing with that Flampanzer? I do love seeing aggressive Flampanzer play, but... I don't know what he's gonna... I think he's just trying to... I don't know what he's trying to do with it. Because I feel like he's just gonna get killed out in the open, yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna donate to the stack count in a second, but that's okay.
I think he's trying to flank let's see. Oh, he's trying to flank around to the other side of the canal, but
you don't set up in the open by like off the canal. Like that's just asking for trouble.
Yeah. It's the stack count.
And then the pathfinding, I will say the pathfinding was a little bit atrocious here and there, so and that's gonna be death. Yep.
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 Gavin loses the other half track, I believe, here to a Piat shot. Yeah. From the command squad.
TOT barrage coming in 12 seconds over here, 140 mil. Right here in the center. Wait, where's that Martyr aiming?
Please.
Oh, engine destroyed. Jeez. And by the way, there's a mobile wagon coming in as well. 140 mil starts pounding the middle part of the map. P3s are also starting to engage that Achilles. And very wisely, discretion is the better part of valor, so start backing away here.
Yeah, using both P3s at the same time is definitely a good call. You can actually kill it.
An internal fire also, that's a terrible thing to be kind of dealing with.
I guess it's not too terrible for an Achilles, because it is like open top. So it's just like having a barbecue.
Yes, but when you're the thing inside getting barbecued, it tends to be a little bit more of a drag.
That's a very good point, Khan. I did not consider it from your perspective.
Somehow being the human hot dog suddenly starts to lose its luster after a bit.
Well, in all seriousness, what a terrible way to go.
Yeah.
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 But you know what? I think at this point, I think the dark humor 65 years, 70 years after the fact, actually almost 80 years after the fact, we'll be hitting the 80-year anniversary pretty soon of these events. You got to do something. You got to laugh. You know, you look at the bright side of death. So.
Oh, the Flam Panzer. I do like his position of his Flam Panzer. Yo.
No, I don't. 6-pounder. Oh,
Oh,
6-pounder. Oh my gosh. Oh
burn,
my
baby,
gosh.
burn.
He's gonna get taken out by the 140.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Omamori getting that very nice slow plus run. I mean, we're just entered into C phase now. It does seem pretty neck on neck still. Like, the point difference between both sides is fairly close, and I feel like Beowulf will be able to make some sort of counteroffensive up north somewhere. Because it's really just like one Panzer Grenadier holding like a spike of territory, quite literally.
Certainly true. Focke-Wulf coming down to the south, going to continue to try to pound on those 6-pounders before he gets taken out. He's going to get the bombs off. Not enough to kill him, though. Desperate machine gun fire, trying to take out the 6-pounder before he comes back online. Maybe this mobile wagon? Nope, mobile wagon's going to just stay undercover. Good idea. And one of the P3 will be de-stressed quick enough to start engaging him. Maybe, maybe not.
Armada 3 trying to engage a Sherman. It's going to be a pretty risky proposition.
Well, it's looking down to the south as well. It looked like we actually had was it a dead Cromwell maybe? Wasn't a Firefly. There's a dead Cromwell down to the south.
Yeah, it looks like a Cromwell.
Firefly, though, is going to take out the SPW. So at long last, he is finally deceased.
Oh.
He's gone to meet the ancestors and everything.
And he's going to be bringing out some recon, which he desperately needs to have Firefly. Fortunately for him, the Pack 40 is not in a position to shoot said Firefly, so he should be safe for now.
For now is such a dangerous thing in this game.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly.
Just remember, it could always be a Panzerfaust behind every single hedgerow. Which, for most cases, is.
True. True. Meanwhile, it doesn't have the same level of fear that it's elicited in you when you say there's a Piat behind every bridge.
Oof. Just drive over it, guys. Don't worry about it. It'll just be some loud sounds.
I was saying that too. That's a source of much fear when they're your allies with those. Pierre, shoot at the enemy! Boom! There goes the colonel. Now P4 being brought on in, and this was always a source of such just earlier dismay for me when I was in my earlier wereaboo status during the days of SD44. I would definitely say an underperforming vehicle, but we'll see if this guy can kind of get himself a little bit more success than some of the brethren we have cast in the past.
Yeah, the P4 is not a great vehicle in SD44 because against the Sherman has stabilizers, and both sides, we joked about that.
Forgive me, I forgot the stabilizer.
Yeah, the Sherman having stabilizers in this game in hedgerow hell is such a huge advantage. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Panzer IVs require like good micro-in because they can be very good because you can pretty much kill the vast majority of allied armor with just the Panzer IV, which is quite nice. It's just getting into good positions and not being stabilized.
So just a heads up, so curiously enough, we're seeing this OP Sherman and a Crusader trying to make this demi-push through the center. And we're about to see one of them get brewed up here. I wonder if that's going to happen with the second one as well.
Panzerfaust infantry getting in close. Panzerfaust range, but don't get the hit.
You can't bat 1,000%.
Yeah. Got off map here from Rike, some 170mm to really blow up that little factory complex. We are seeing some on-map artillery in form of a Sexton.
Yeah, not sure how well that's really going to go at the moment. I'm stuck between trying to go after this furball to the north, because I feel like it's only going to have one outcome, i.e. the Mustang's going to take him out, because that Focke-Wulf gets outturned all the time.
Yeah. He gets shot off the map, quite literally.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. I mean, he crashed onto a bunch of maps, like on the outskirts of the border.
Yeah, but that's somebody else's map to worry
Yeah.
about. That's not ours.
Be it just another battlefield, just sees this fucker wolf appear out of nowhere and just crash lands. Like, blimey, where did that come from?
Well, that's an alternate universe where Rang Ulrich and Conru are doing a completely different cast, and this plane just crashes down. uh, in the meantime, though, P4 asserts itself, trying to engage a Sherman. It does a pretty decent job. Takes out, I think, that OP Sherman. He might even take out this other Sherman, the Sherman 3. Taking things in the flank here, doing decently well. But the front line is more or less stabilized, I think, for Beowulf.
Yeah, he's continuing to hold onto his territory. I mean, down south is still looking pretty good for him. Beowulf is gonna, like, try and push through an attack.
In the meantime, Sexton is trying to engage and push back this Pentagon de Fury. Unfortunately for him, this is going to start taking even more over here, I think, for Omamori. More or less, he's actually really lucky that Omamori has not been more aggressive here in the center, because he's got 2 Strokey squads, both pinned, one surrenders valiantly, and the other one I think is going to be meeting that pretty darn quickly. No!
Ooh, there we go, yeah.
A 17-pounder? What killed?
6-pounder down south. Oh, in the, like, center hill. Center, not hill,
Man.
but center road.
Along the outside of the railroad
Yeah.
cuts.
There's no hills, this is SD44. They don't exist in France. A foreign concept. They got rid of the hills in the 13th century.
It certainly didn't matter whenever you had the map itself. Ranges,
Yeah.
that was a huge gripe I remember way back when. But 5347, Omamori, I'm surprised we still haven't seen even more air power. I mean, there's not a whole lot really to see, I'm sure. But the first Pacherna, we got some Mustangs we could be seeing. We could be seeing some Mozzies. I mean, we had options.
Yeah. I feel like this is going to come... I mean, center position is essentially coming down to the infantry fight, which makes sense. It's infantry focus. But I feel like Beowulf has been getting the short end of the stick a bit in terms of the tank engagements. And of both divisions, those tank engagements are pretty vital as well. They're both tank divisions. I feel like Beowulf his best bet is really try to do something down south. It's pretty lightly defended. Really, if you knock out the Pack 40, you're good. But trying to get across that field, see at Pack 40 and like decisively blow it up is going to be a pain. I think you really need to use that Sexton or some
And
artillery.
he's going to right. He has heard you. You have talked to him from the great beyond because he's starting to aim down that direction. I can never recall though. Only a 2,400 meter range, which never mind. I'm not sure why I said only because 2,400 meters on this map is freaking huge.
Yeah.
But will it be in time to save this Sherman? Nope, he goes back to Sydney. The storage at this, not that storage, excuse me. The Ulster being brought on in, not getting anywhere near as much recon as his counterpart did.
Yeah. It is cool seeing both sides actually use recon planes.
And you mean that didn't require him to have an artillery barrage coming in after that? Yeah.
yeah. And in SD44, most of the recon planes are the very humble, like Cessna style, just crappy little cardboard airplanes. I must have been like pretty nuts to fly one of those things around in the Second World War. You have like people flying Messerschmitts and Focke-Wulfs, and you're just in this little cardboard plane, hoping that you don't get shot down by a single flat gun.
Well, I think back to... Ooh. Oh, wow, okay, so he was strafing. Okay, interesting call there. I think back to the guy who was like, you know what? I'm tired of being a recon plane. I'm going to go strap bazookas to my plane.
Oh, yeah, Rosie.
Exactly.
Rosie the recon plane.
Exactly. Just absolutely obscene. 250 Mark 10 not able to engage that Crusader still, despite the fact that thing only has 180 rounds left, which is weird. Usually Crusader dies much quicker than that.
Yes it does. So he's going through the rest of his ammunition pretty fast as he has 3 guns strapped on him. And, yeah. Now would be a good time to maybe do a tactical retreat.
Oh man.
Oh, the half tracks.
I forgot how absurd the rate of fire was on those things, though, too.
Yeah.
950 RPM.
Yeah. Oh no, and like the Crusader, yeah.
On the Crusader,
I was
yeah.
looking at the 20mm
Oh,
half
no.
tracks and they're a bit slower.
No.
But
Oh,
like,
much slower.
hey, 20mm like half track flank is completely gonna shut down any like southern aggression here. It's gonna keep up Firefly pretty home alone. Oh,
Well,
the
the thing is,
Panzer IV trying to. Oh, the Panzer IV just coming and deal with the infantry.
oh, neither one can see the other. This is like spy versus spy, except that nobody really cares about the other one. Pack 40 finally does go down, and that's a huge kill.
Yeah, yo, I do like this very light armored per se. Very, I mean, this is pretty classic Rintown play here, moving through with all the armored recon vehicles and whatnot, and making pretty good progress. I mean, it's kind of hitting the flanks where there's no real armor or anti-armor to shoot him. Just disrupting enemy lines.
And I forgot that on the Western Front, apparently people knew how to actually aim at airplanes, and so everyone just started firing machine gun fire from the ground.
Oh yeah.
Apparently on the Eastern Front, ballistics wasn't as much of a discipline, so they don't really care quite the same amount there. P4
Also,
went
this
down, by
didn't
the
do
way.
as
Couldn't say
much.
from what. Oh no, P4. I thought okay, P4 got taken out by the Firefly, who moved 50 meters.
Yeah, definitely running out engagement. Yeah, he's gonna be.
Please, sir.
No, just like flanking the more light armored force here. I really do like this maneuver. Try to just get out of the open because that Firefly is coming.
That's true, but there's also a Panther coming down here too, so there's a dreadful amount of material over here to the northern side. I think you were right. I think that this definitely kind of missed an opportunity to engage the south.
Yeah. And it's really not looking good for Beowulf now. It's only because this game has a time limit. There's only 8 minutes left for him, and I don't feel like he's going to be able to catch up in that time. I mean, Raikei has a +2 point advantage right now, and this central push is really just hammering home the victory.
He might be able to pull a draw, but
That'd
he's
be
got to
his
flip
best
it around
bet.
like this instant. He'd have to flip it around.
Yeah. It's gonna come down to the south, and he has the Fireflies, which are fantastic fantastic damage dealers, of course, but trying to get them into good positions without any supporting units makes them pretty much useless. Especially if you shoot down the recon, that's unironically a pretty big kill.
I confess I was just paying attention as this hit squad of half tracks just decides to pick on innocent little infantry here and there.
Yeah. It was surprisingly that worked. I'm surprised at how well that a hit squad worked.
Now he's donating them though.
Okay, yeah.
Because he's a sport like that. I mean, I want to be a good sport. I understand.
I kill a bunch of your guys, you can kill some of mine, it's cool.
Shooter knocked out. Oh no, I forgot about this. Actually, this could go the other way. They could freak him out and then force a surrender. Oof, bailed out. Never mind.
Or he's reversing and he can't shoot while moving. He's going to have to
He
stop.
can now.
There we go. Yeah, I also forgot about it. You can't shoot and move in SD44. Unless you're like an autocannon or like machine gun.
At which point accuracy doesn't matter.
Yeah. For good reason, by the way, guys. If you remember the beta of SD44, people would do these awful Greyhound rushes with the 2nd French Armored Division.
Oh,
and we're
yeah,
talking
God.
just fast moving into your spawn point with 8 Greyhounds. Just going full tilt with machine gun and 37mm fire. You couldn't do anything about it unless you were prepared. It was the closest thing I think we got to helicopter rushes and Steel Division.
For those of you out there who don't know what he's talking about, it appears in some other times and other timelines there's this war game escalation that helicopter rushes were a thing and they would just camp your spawn and blow up everything because helicopters were overpowered for certain factions.
They're overpowered at the start of matches. So I'll briefly go over helicopter rushes in war game because this game is, I think it's pretty clear that Omamori is gonna get it. What made helicopter rushes really like bullshit in War Game was that you had to. It was a 50-50 dice roll. You either prepared for it, and you'd shoot down all the helicopters, and you pretty much win the match at that point because you can get a lot of easy territories. They spent all their forward forces on helicopters, or you'd lose immediately because you didn't bring enough anti-air. So it just turned the game. If you're fighting against a helicopter rusher, like, is he gonna helicopter rush me? Yes or no? And it's just, you might as well flip a coin at that point, and maybe you'd win, maybe you'd lose. Sometimes you could kind of fight it off without being prepared, but this wasn't. I mean, it's just also, I know, as much bullshit helicopter rushes are in War Game, it's kind of just part of the game at this point. Yeah.
That guy screaming, it's a legitimate strategy. Let's go to ×2 at 25.
Yeah.
And ×2. Kind of funny, we have one half track behind the lines, just kind of running around trying to be a giant knob. And he, as all knobs do, he meets his end. Elsewise, there's a Panther D that's just kind of, Panther G, excuse me. He's a real bro. He's just kind of hanging out over here, just kind of supporting some fire and some innocent little PBI. Nothing too shocking here. We have a great, Staghound, Firefly, we have another Firefly to the south. They're trying to pick on this Martyr. They'll do pretty well with that, too.
Yeah.
But that's what tankies do. I mean, you try to hit the SPGs as much as possible. You know, you don't want a fair fight. Nobody wants a fair fight. That's one kill.
Yeah, Martyr holding the ground pretty effectively. But the Firefly does slap back, and he slap backs hard.
Well, I wonder if this Firefly's going to go across this... Yeah, oh, gee, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Realize it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to go there.
Martyrs and Panzer IVs galore. There we got Raikadus is a very good position to all over. I mean, just holding that central point in the map really secured him. And the southern side too, but he managed to draw a lot of the fire in the center. And that was kind of like his anvil point of just holding against all the Polish attacks.
Crew wounded, crew killed. Beaufort's coming on in because why the heck not? And it's a question of who's going to kill him first. Yep, there we go.
Beaufort comes in, Beaufort goes out.
Actually, Beaufort says that he's laying strewn about right now, but
that's very true. He's a lazy
true.
bugger. Not even shooting as a tank right, yeah.
Get back on your feet, Johnson, or the Polish version of Johnson. But no, honestly, I'm loving this retrospective. Hopefully we get some more great kind of replays here, guys. I'm not saying we're going to start up another league of SD44, but dadgum.
Pace.
Yeah, exactly. But we went the distance here. Major defeat over here for Beowulf. He got brought down by the Grendel. That was YKO Omamori rather. And the KD was actually a lot closer than I anticipated it to be.
Yeah, only a 1,000 difference, which is pretty standard stuff for your average run v1.
Cromwell, Staghound, pretty good. Firefly, this dude down to the south was kicking ass and taking names. 17 pounder, this guy up to the north did pretty well. Pack 38 though, this guy up on the northern side, he shut down everything. Schweitzer, really well done.
All the half
Pack 40,
not having a good time.
And Detling was the pack, the demon Pack 40 down south. 1, 2, 3, 4 legitimate tanks and a couple of pansy vehicles. Martyr doing pretty well. P4 doing pretty well. I mean, this is what you want to see as an anti-tank platform.
Yeah, so he got some very good tank kills overall. Like he was really coming in top with his tank engagements, and yeah, when it's armored and armored divisions, those tank engagements are very important.
Indeed. But I think that's going to just about do it for the replay today. Do you have any other thoughts that you want to kind of toss forward, good sir?
Nope.
Well, in that case then, guys, until next week and next time, I'm Connell Work.
And Rangaroo, take it easy.